Well, hello everybody and welcome to my shop. I'm going to carry on working on this radio, and what I'm really focused on now are all these coils right at the very front of the radio. And the reason for this is an observation pointed out by Joseph that when I contacted the grid of the 6A7 tube with my voltmeter, the radio seemed to come to life, as if the voltmeter was supplying or performing as a pretty good antenna. I seem to remember that tube, and I've also touched it quite a few times, and same effect. So logically then, if any reasonable signal is making it to the grid of that tube, we should hear something coming out of the speaker. So when we take a look at this, there's the grid of the tube right there, and you can see that it's driven by these two coils here. And then we see these other two coils, these ones. They really are not connected to the radio. They're actually independent of the radio itself. And it's only the interaction of these coils that transmits any kind of influence into the radio from the antenna. So what I want to do is I want to prove out that these coils are good. So a couple hints. At the bottom it's is grounded or should be grounded. I'm not sure how to read that. Don't know if that means to the chassis or what that means. But up here is a capacitor. And the good thing about that is that that capacitor is right there, just where this clip lead is. Now you can see that that end of the capacitor is connected right to that coil terminal. I'm looking very closely at the wire. Come on, gotta focus better than that. There we are. Now you can see the wire coming to that terminal. And that is for sure where the capacitor goes in. Oh no, the capacitor's down under here. Different terminal. No problem though. So I'm going to clip that red clip lead back onto the bottom of that capacitor. My theory is I'm connecting right here. So all I got to do is just take my ohm meter and touch it here and touch it to the chassis. And that should prove. Okay, so there's one connection. And now I'll just touch it to the chassis. There it goes. $20 ohms. It's kind of curious. Oh man. Yeah, I guess the coils could be 20 ohms. Hey, I'll just operate the switch here. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll see if that changes. Bingo. Good show. From that, it looks like greater resistance is the AM band, which both coils operating. I'd have to think about that, but that's what it seems to be anyway. Well, they seem to be good too. Now, another possibility is that this capacitor, although it's not short-circuited, has no capacity, no capacitance. One of those two, anyway. How can I verify that? It's a small capacitor anyway. Put one across it. Yeah, let's put one across it. Ooh, that's a good idea. 0.006. Wow, well, it turns out I'm out of 0.006, so here's a 0.005. And let's see how I'm going to do this. Okay, so the green and the red wires are right across the capacitor now. So I just put in the one like that and see if, presto, we're hearing radio just like that. I'm just going to hang the antenna here in my shop. Stretch it out a little bit anyway. Okay. So I think we should think about putting this okay. A little more safety check. Currently the capacitor is disconnected. The radio is plugged into the outdoor antenna. Yes, it is. And we're ready to switch on. Here we go. It's just warming up. This is the short wave band. Okay, now I've connected these wires, you know, in positions where they're kind of extending the antenna a little bit. Yes, here we go. Wasn't that exciting? Let's see that again. Okay, next possibility. This wire is not really the antenna, but this is actually the ground wire, and the antenna wire is missing. So we'll now, jeez, scare myself. We'll now check that out. See if there's any possibility of that. What's going on there? So, it's not my hand. It's pulling the wire. Who knows? Let's see. The wire is going up through the chassis right at that coil. Sounds pretty much like a radio right now, doesn't it? What's going on? I was just about to say, well, that's gone away. What is it? I don't know. This is not connected to the output antenna. Let's do that. It sounds like something's there, boy.
Cuando vi que no actuaban rectamente como corresponde a la integridad del Evangelio, le dije a Pedro delante de todos: si tú que eres judío, vives como si no lo fueras, ¿por qué obligas a los gentiles a practicar el judaísmo? Nosotros somos judíos de nacimiento y no pecadores paganos. Sin embargo, al reconocer que nadie es justificado por las obras que demanda la ley y no por la fe en Jesucristo, también nosotros hemos puesto nuestra fe en Cristo Jesús para ser justificados por la fe en Él y no por las obras de la ley, porque por estas nadie será justificado. Ahora bien, cuando
in the short wave, only this
por Cristo, se hace
one coil
evidente
is
que
working.
nosotros mismos somos
Oh, you
pecadores.
couldn't see what I was doing.
¿Quiere esto decir que Cristo
Just adjusting the tuning coils.
De ninguna manera.
Now, what about this other one? Here.
Yo por mi parte, mediante la ley, he muerto a la ley.
One more adjustable
Para Dios. He
control
sido
here.
crucificado con Cristo y ya no vivo yo, sino que Cristo vive en mí. Lo que ahora vive en el cuerpo,
There's no difference.
fe
So
en el Hijo de Dios, quien me amó
I'll leave those
y
alone.
dio su
So
vida
there we
por
are.
mí.
It's
No
playing.
desecho la gracia de Dios. Si la justicia se obtuviera mediante la ley, Cristo habría muerto en vano.
Gálatas, capítulo 3.
Gálatas 14. ¿Quién les ha explicado a ustedes antes quienes Jesucristo crucificado ha sido presentado tan claramente? Solo quiero que me respondan a esto. ¿Recibieron el Espíritu por las obras que demanda la ley?
There's a strange tuning effect going on here. Hey. Let me give it full supply voltage here. Wow. It's just really hard to tune this thing. It's hair trigger on this band. Isn't it somewhere right in here where it goes bonkers? Can't move it any further because of problems in here. Okay, well, I don't know what to say here. Sorry about that. Don't listen to him. I have the vinyl record for this. Oh my gosh. It seems to work. Okay, well, what have I been doing all this time? I have to go back and watch all my own videos to figure out what happened. That's, I don't know, it seems like ever since that time I touched the pin on this tube, the radio has worked. Well, can't do much more for it right now, that's for sure. Well, that's not true. I gotta work on this front plate, I gotta fix this thing, I gotta get the eye straightened up properly. Gotta do all those things. It's a bit of a hum there too, isn't there? But for now, I'm just gonna pretend the radio is working okay, and we'll move on to these other problems. So, wow, did I use the word goose chase in some of the descriptions? Yikes! Thanks for watching.